All right, what is up, everybody? Long time no see. Welcome back to Puck Rock Rangers. I'm Stefan. As always, this is Palmer, and let's not waste any time and let's get into it, man.
Yeah, we're catching up. It's been a couple weeks. It's the off season. We have been watching, or it's the playoffs, but it's off season for the Rangers. We've been watching. So we got some things to go over. We're gonna go over the playoffs so far, and kind of try to recap the Rangers season, do some report cards. Before we get into that, we'll do a quick update on what's been popping. It's been a couple weeks, so what's going on?
Not a whole lot, man. Our dad's in town, so it's been nice getting to catch up with him a little bit. And yeah, actually, he gave us something pretty cool, so we can do a little. We'll have a little show and tell for you. But for my personal life, the same old, same old. Working a lot. Uh, Work is I've been very busy, so like I'm like at least consistently a month and a half booked out at a time. It's a blessing and a curse. The weather's getting nice, so I miss being outside. But on weeks like this week when it's been rainy and terrible, I've enjoyed
Yeah.
having a pretty booked schedule. So yeah, kids, family, work, uh, watching a lot of playoffs, and that's about it for me. What about you?
Yeah, about the same work. Definitely been watching the playoffs. It's been really nice, been able to watch quite a bit. I'm an old man, so I fall asleep sometimes during the West games, but I've watched as much as I can. It's been nice to watch just quality hockey with not a dog in the fight. And most games, I don't have much of a rooting interest, so you just want some good
Yeah,
hockey.
yeah.
Life's been lifing. Code had played another show with our first singer, so that was or our first show with the new singer, I should say. That went really well. And I've just to take you behind the scenes, I've been dealing with a little bit of an injury. Stefan's aware, obviously.
He's on LTIR.
So, my two dogs were chasing each other. I tried to interfere and stop them, and Bojack ran right into my knee. This is a little over 5 weeks ago. So I've been quoting Shorzy in my head, 4 to 6. That's right where I'm within. So, feeling better, getting better, but it's a slow heal. As I said, I'm old. So. But that's it, man. Nothing too crazy. That's kind of slowed me down, so I haven't really gone on any trips or done much. I've been kind of, just pimping out around the house. But yeah, let's get into some playoff hockey. Do you want to do show and tell first, or do you want to get into
Yeah,
the
so
playoffs?
this episode's format, we're gonna do show and tell, breeze through that. We'll give a little bit of our takes on what's going on in the playoffs, and then we're gonna do report cards. We're gonna do player by player, coach, and general manager report cards. Um, if you've been consistently watching, which I know there's millions of you, you would know that right around the midseason we did report cards for the players and how they were doing. So now we're gonna go player by player and give a completed season report card. And what do you got, man? What's your show and tell?
So our dad is in town, as Stefan said. Shout out, pops. And I just noticed something interesting about the show and tell item. Um, we have a newspaper from '94. This isn't the "We Will Win" paper where Mark Messier declared that we will win, but in this paper, the Rangers were up against it, had to win against the Devils, and had to had to stay alive. And something fun about this is Tuesday, May 24th paper, and we're recording this on May 25th. Several years,
Yeah, May 24th, 1994. That's sick.
So yeah, this is right around this time of year, playoff hockey, right in the thick of it, and yeah, we were flipping through
Show them
some
one more
some
time.
cool
That thing's pretty
articles.
sick. Look at the cover. Show the whole thing.
Yeah, so you got Mark Messier, mean mugging, and the Pacers and Knicks were at war at the same time, and there's a bunch of stuff in here about that too,
Yeah.
and just kind of cool flipping through the article, and hockey or non, just kind of seeing some of the old school ads. Some of the stuff that was going on. But yeah, there's a bunch of Rangers stuff in here. You kind of see, the Rangers were on the brink. I don't know if I'll.
That's a Larry Brooks article
Yeah.
right here.
Yeah, late great Larry Brooks. In his prime.
Yeah.
So yeah, just a cool find. You know, Dad picked it up from us at a thrift store down there in Florida. So thanks, Dad, and I just wanted to show you guys.
All right, so for my show and tell, I'm a tattoo artist. One of my clients, who clients kind of become friends. That you guys get to know each other. He brought me this VHS. So he's been real into collecting VHSs, and I guess he's picked this one up. I'm gonna try to hold it. The heck, the light. There we go. New York Rangers, 1994 Stanley Cup champions. So we got the VHS version of that, and I'm gonna shout him out because I told him I would. So Cody Mossbroker, cool ass dude. He brought me this gem. So I'm gonna have to wipe the dust off the VHS one of these days and
Nice,
go and throw it in there and play it. So shout out Cody, thank you, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And it was definitely I enjoy it. I'm gonna enjoy this.
Yeah, definitely some W gifts. I'm a history geek in some regards, so even the non-Ranger stuff in that paper I'll definitely enjoy.
Yeah, he was telling me about this article about some like the Knicks celebration, and somebody got shot during the celebration, like as a stray bullet.
Yeah, a woman was struck by a stray bullet during the Knicks celebration. Yo, speaking of, real quick, I'm not a Knicks fan, but I can't help but notice, man, the Knicks fans have been going crazy. Have you seen any of that shit?
Mm-mm.
I guess I see it on Instagram because I follow the Rangers and stuff. Dude, the Knicks fans are going berserk, man. Shout out Knicks fans. You know, a long waited. You know, I think it's been since the '70s since they've won anything. So this is big for them, and those fans are really fanatical, man. Knicks fans are insane. So. I mean, they were abusing people in Philly during the Philly series, taking things over, like interrupting news broadcasts, just being ridiculous.
Bunch of rowdy New Yorkers,
rowdy
right?
ass. I mean, they got Fat Joe doing like grabbing the mic and rapping with people, and shit is going crazy there. So shout out Knicks fans.
That sounds
man.
fun. Sounds lit.
It does sound fun. I mean, they're having a great time. After an entire season of watching other teams look like they were having fun, now I get to watch the Knicks have fun. So maybe next year we get our chance.
Yeah. So so far the playoffs, we haven't had an episode since the playoffs started.
Yeah.
Biggest surprise? What do you got as your biggest surprise? We both made brackets.
My biggest surprise, and I don't want to say I was surprised because I actually picked them in my bracket. But the fact that it came to fruition was the Ducks beating the Oilers. I don't think anyone really had the Ducks beating them. I mean, I did because I kind of was hoping and rooting. I don't know that I would have put money on it, but I think that was a big surprise. I expected a little more out of Ottawa. I thought that was kind of a surprise.
Big time.
In a negative regard. And right now what's going on with the Avalanche is definitely a surprise.
Yeah, that's for sure my biggest surprise is how much I underestimated Vegas. Just the fact, I mean, the injuries, I really chalk it up to injuries. Like that, it's insane. Like I had a clear-cut Avalanche going to the final, and right now them being down 3-0 against a team that I didn't think was going to do that hot. It's it's crazy. So
yeah, I had Avalanche and the Sabres in the finals. I think last episode we covered our brackets. My bracket's pretty well busted. I was right on some picks, so I'm not totally wrong. I did not have the Habs going this far. I had the Bolts winning that.
Both my brackets got busted because I had Ottawa doing pretty good. And then after that bracket got busted with Ottawa losing, I had 7 on the first round. I had 7 out of 8 correct. Ottawa was my one that I had wrong, and then I had they gave you the second chance bracket, so I went ahead and did one of those. And then Buffalo, when they lost, that bracket also got busted. So I had Avalanche and Buffalo in the final, and right now it's not looking like either of those teams are going to be in it. Unless the Avalanche can pull off an absolute miracle.
It's really going to be a miracle. It was borderline miracle going into last night's game. I think the stat was like there's been one team to lose both the opening home games and win a series, and it was the Detroit Red Wings back in like the 50s.
Yeah.
That's not great history. I mean, and that's like, you want to talk about a completely different game. I mean, shit.
Yeah, goalies wore like Freddy and Jason masks.
That's almost like it's never happened. Yeah, it's happened one time, and it was way back when. Yeah, and then they dropped the game last night, and you leave the first period thinking, man, here we go. Okay, they're gonna bounce back. They could jump right back into this series. And after the first period, it was an avalanche from the Golden Knights. I mean, they just poured it on, man. They were beating them up physically, and up and down the ice. With the game too. And that's, I don't want to call it a surprise.
The injuries,
but
man.
I think that's kind of Vegas's game. I saw I want to say it was Ryan Whitney was talking about it, and he said that's kind of what they do. They pussyfoot through the regular season, and then they're a wagon come playoff time, and they're hard to get out. And we've seen it year after year. I mean, almost every year they're in the mix.
Every year. They've made the playoffs every single year since they've been a franchise, right? They haven't even missed. So. They haven't missed one playoffs.
Have they? They might have missed.
Maybe one. They've been around 9 years, so they're either 9 for 9 or 8 for 9.
Yeah.
In the playoffs.
With
one of those being a Stanley Cup. So.
With a cup, yeah.
Yeah, I severely underestimated Vegas.
Yeah, I did too. I think from the outside looking in, people that don't follow the team, they've lost some players, they've been down some guys.
They're just so annoying, so you root for them to not do good.
Look, dude, they're a wagon. They're a solid team. They're big. They're strong. They remind me of the Kings of the early 2010s, where they were, they were never a 1 seed, but they were big and strong and could get into a best of 7 and beat teams, and that's very much what they remind me of.
You think this Montreal Canes is going 7?
I think it has the potential. I would feel better about that if the Habs won tonight. Steph
if the Habs can win in regulation, then they'll be all right. But I don't think right now it's we just got done with the game. We finished watching it before we clicked record, Carolina won in overtime again. Yeah, so it's 2-1 on the series.
I said this to Stefan during the game. I think the close games, the overtimes, that's going to benefit Carolina, and that's been evident both times that they've gone into overtime. Now they've won. The Canadians need to go into the next game and just pour on the scoring. And I know that's easier said than done, especially against a stingy team like Carolina. But that's the way they're going to win. I had a pit in my stomach the whole time it was 2-2. And if I was a betting man, I would have bet on what just happened, which was the Hurricanes winning a tight game. So I think it has the potential to go to 7. But I would say if it stays close, low scoring, struggling, defensive struggle type games, I think that's Hurricanes in 6.
Yeah. So you want to get into the report cards and the season recap?
Yeah, we can. Is there any other playoff stuff you want to get into?
I could talk about it a lot more, but the important stuff and the relevant stuff is of right now. I think we already kind of covered it. I was pulling for the Ducks. I was enjoying watching the Flyers. Don't hate me, but just the young teams were fun to watch. I'm really hoping, and I shouldn't be, but I want to see Montreal and Vegas in the final because I think it'd be really fun to see a young, skilled, fast team go up against a little bit slower, a little bit older, veteran presence, and see that battle, see that dynamic, and see how they match up against. It might be a lot of fun to watch the two complete opposite teams.
Yeah.
Duking it out.
Last thing I'll say is for people our age and actually a little older, the Rod Brind'Amour versus Marty St. Louis is kind of a fun matchup if you think about it. It was two, top tier players of their age and generation, 2 Stanley Cup winners, 2 guys that were old enough to remember playing, but were at the end of their career. And it's just kind of cool to watch that. I think it's a really cool matchup. It's like 90s hockey, early 2000s hockey, all over again. So
and I want to do a quick shout out to the camera crew and the producing crew because every single time that Rod Brind'Amour is losing his mind, whoever's behind the scenes is like, cut the rod.
Yeah.
And it shows him, and he's like, oh, like
No, bar
he's
none.
so animated.
Bar none, he's
They
the most
get
fun
him.
coach to watch.
Every
in the
single
league.
time anything wrong happens, they are like, go straight to Rod.
You know who he reminds me of? You might not know this reference, but Jim Harbaugh. He's a football coach. He coached the 49ers, and now I think he's in college. But he's super animated, and he was very much known for like sideline breakdowns and throwing headsets and, and just yelling at the refs.
You gotta love an angry coach.
Yeah, Rod. Look, I said it during the game. You know, Rod Brindamere is probably a very shitty poker player because he does not hide his emotions. You don't have to. You don't have to really deeply analyze what he's thinking. He's very easy to read.
Yep.
And so let's get on to. We did mid-season report cards where we did not go back and look at how we graded every player. So we're not going to, we're not going to reference that. We're just going to start here and now and do end of season report cards. So this encompasses the whole season. So like someone like Laugh that maybe had a bad first, good start, or bad start, good ending. We're going to consider the whole season.
Yeah.
And we'll go player by player and kind of start with some of the top guns and take it from there.
So let's go. Hold on. Let's just go in alphabetical order because that's how they're listed on here.
You should have it by points.
No, just do alphabetical. It's fine. We'll still get to everybody, right? Would you rather do points?
I would rather do it by points because you're going to start with guys like Brodzinski and other shit. I think you do it by points, and that's how you know where to stop talking about people.
It doesn't have the points on here. That'd be on stats. But let's just do roster, man. Come on. Because we'll get to everyone anyway.
Okay.
So,
right.
First on the list, we got Johnny Brodzinski.
He didn't play a lot. I think that's games played is what we can see, right? No.
That's their number.
Oh. It's
their number of positions. This is just the roster. This has nothing to do with any stats.
That's going to drive me crazy. I don't know. Brodzinski, I don't know. He didn't play a whole lot. He's definitely not a Sullivan guy. But I think he did his role. He's provided leadership for some of the young guys. Scored a couple clutch goals. So, I don't know. I'll give him a C.
I'll give him a B because nobody's expecting anything crazy out of him. But every time he's on the ice, he gives it his all. He's just a slot in player. And when you need him, he shows up.
He's there. He's always. Yeah,
so I'll give him a B.
There. He's been a good Ranger.
So next we got I'm gonna mutilate this Yaroslav Shemilar. Like I've heard, he's Rosenberger. Yeah, he has a different name every time you say it. But what do you got for him?
He was pretty good. He was called up earlier in the season. He didn't pop so much. But on his second call up, he stuck. This was, in garbage time, so take it with a grain of salt. But he looked really good for what he was. Brought a lot of energy. He's a big body. I think he's really got a chance at finding a home on that fourth line next season. Mm-hmm. For expectation for being a young kid, not a high draft pick, I'll give him a B. I think he looked really good.
I'm right there with you. Everything you said, I agree. He's fun to watch. Next, we got Roger Klotz. Cooley.
Will Cooley. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'm just gonna say I'll give him a C. I think he had, last season, the previous season, he really gave us a lot of hope and promise. And this season, I don't think was as good as last season, but I think he was good enough.
Yeah.
I enjoyed watching him play. He didn't do anything crazier. But he did get a good amount of goals. He did chip in sometimes when he needed. So I'm just going to give him a C. For his role, I think he did decently.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm giving him a C, and that stands for I need to see more.
Yeah.
I said it right at the beginning of the season. I'm a big Will Cooley fan. My fantasy team is Cooley and the gang. Big Cooley guy. He was kind of disappointing, especially the first half of the season. He's another guy that kind of turned it on. He got that hat trick late. A couple bigger hits and maybe some fights late in the season. I just didn't see it, and I said at the time that I think Rangers fans, clung to him as a bright spot in a very fucking shitty year, and that the expectations could be a little high. I mean, people were talking about him like he was a second line shoe-in, and game change. Look, he's a solid player.
He's a great third liner.
You need guys like him.
Yeah.
But if he's one of your best 5-6 forwards, you're not a good team.
Yeah.
And that's not a knock on Cooley. You need guys like that. He's a banger. Like I said, I think he turned it on a little bit. So yeah, I give him a C. I'd like to see more next year, and I just think fans kind of overrated him a little bit. So hopefully he can kind of fall in the middle.
Yep.
But definitely expect more next year from him.
All right, so Adam Edstrom, I'm going to give him a C as well. The times when he was in the lineup, I liked what I saw as a fourth liner. I really do enjoy seeing him on the fourth line, but he was just injured so long that we barely got to see him play. So it's hard to really give him a grade when he barely played. So I'll just say C.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess you'd have to factor in the body of work. I'm thinking D or C. He obviously wasn't a Sullivan guy.
Yeah.
And he spent a lot of the season injured. So it's hard for me to really give a grade there.
All right, Ty Cartier. He was a waivers claim.
Yes, Ty Cartier was a waiver claim. I think he fit right in. Another guy that really stands a chance to crack this squad next season.
As a third liner with Cooley.
I think he kind of started winning Ranger fans over. I started calling him Carts.
Yeah.
He's got a nice, a bit of chippiness to his game. I think he's someone that really could find a role on this team.
Yeah, he needed a relocation. He came to New York, and it seemed to be a good fit. I'd like to give him a B. I was pretty happy with what I saw from him.
Yeah, for waiver
not expecting nothing crazy, but expecting way less than what we got from him. So we got more, and I'm happy with that. So Noah Laba. Labba dabba ding dong.
Labba dabba ding dong. I'm gonna give him a B too. You're probably gonna notice a lot of that from me for the young kids because I thought that was the bright spot on the season. If you can cling to anything, it's that some of the kids look pretty good, and none better or more consistent than Noah Laba. He's stuck all season. He was out a couple of times with injury, but he's a big body. He's handsome. He
big nose
seems to get in there, and I like to see him grow into his game, get a little more chippy, and play to his size a little more. But yeah, I think he's got a bright future, and I give him a B+. I think he stood out amongst the youngins.
Yeah, I'll give him a B as well. Another solid third line type guy that just whatever. He gets a B in my book. I enjoyed watching him play. Lafreniere, Mr. Controversial,
Mr. Polarizing.
Yeah.
This one, I don't remember all of our grades for mid-season, but I can almost guarantee you Lafreniere had a D or an F.
Yeah, at the mid-season.
He was brutal. I remember saying it right here on this pod that he's not going to score 20 goals, and at the time he was not projected to score 20 goals. For one reason or another, man. Say it was Bread leaving, say it was garbage time and the pressure being off. I don't know. But the kid went on an absolute tear at the end of the season and gave us all hope. So overall grade for the season, he worked himself up to a B. Actually no. He was atrocious. I'm gonna give him a C+, and I'm really hoping he can get that GPA up next season.
I'm gonna pull one from your book, and I'm gonna give him a C more. Because, the first half, like you said, was pretty terrible. The second half, he was absolutely on fire. It seemed like when they put Perot, Mika, and Laugh on a line together, they just had chemistry, and you could always count on them to do something good. But if you take an F and you take an A, you average a C. And we've seen this before, so I'm going to say we need to see more. So I can't give him anything more than just a C
next season
until I see it.
For needs to be consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. C. I'll give him a C+. I'm really interested to see what he does next year.
All right, what we got for JT Miller?
JT Miller.
D? Maybe? F.
And I like JT. I'm trying to give him every chance. I don't know how you give him above a D+.
I don't see how you even give him a D. I think it's been a total disaster. He would come off a season making over 100 points. He comes here. He gets named captain. He makes mistake after mistake. He's bumped off the puck easily. He's not revving the guys up. It seems like, a captain, the team's supposed to get energy from the captain, and it seemed like he was feeding off the team's energy. So, I don't know. I just didn't see him do anything productive throughout the season. He had a couple big overtime wins on a lost season. I have nothing good to say about his season. Maybe next year he'll come back. Maybe he was playing through some kind of injury.
Yeah.
I don't know. But he was pretty atrocious in my book, and I'm giving him an F. I can't give him a D. It's too generous.
That's totally fair. I'm gonna give him a D. I think he was injured, which that's another conversation
That's
about
not an
whether
excuse.
he
If
should
you're
be
injured,
playing.
if you're injured, take a seat. Come back when you're well. Quit trying to play through it and hurting the team.
You're not wrong, man.
A captain does not do things that would hurt the team.
You're not wrong. He was brutal. His post game interviews and quotes were fucking brutal.
Yeah.
His leadership, from what we can see, was awful. I don't doubt that he has some leadership. I don't doubt that he's a good guy. But yeah, he had about as brutal of a season I can remember for a single Ranger, much less a captain. And we're coming off of Trouba.
Yeah.
We're coming off of, guys that were run out of town. And JT just had an awful welcome back, first season back with the Rangers. Let's move on. Gabe Perreault's next on the list.
Yeah, I'm gonna give Gabe an A. That's all there is to it. He was a rookie. This is his rookie season. Yeah. He had a couple 2-goal games, many multiple point games. You could see his hockey IQ. He's not the big, rough, tough guy, but he was. As the season progressed, he got better and better. I gotta give him an A. I have high expectations for him, and if he can keep up what he's been doing, I think he's gonna be a star in the league. Yeah. It was fun to watch him play. It was fun to watch him make. It was fun to watch him score. It was fun to watch him get into the greasy areas and do some things outside of his probably usual comfort zone. I really like the kid. I can't wait to see more from him. What do you got?
Yeah, I give him an A. I mean, A+ would have meant maybe a couple more goals, a little more dynamic, but he looked really good. He had a really good season. He basically checked all the boxes you needed him to. He goes to the dirty area for a small guy. Steph and I were talking about rats and weasels. He's got some weasel potential.
Yeah, he's definitely got weasel potential.
And we need some more of that. So I like the kid a lot. I think he had a really good season. Let's see how he follows it up, but I'm going to give him an A.
Cool. Taylor Radish?
Taylor Radish, to me, reminded me very much of a shittier. I can't remember the guy's name. He came from and went back to Vegas, Golden Knights.
Howden?
No.
Oh, Riley.
Riley Smith.
Riley Smith.
He was like a crappier Riley Smith.
Yeah.
I mean, he is literally he's a place.
So what letter grade do you give him?
A D.
I'm gonna give him a see you later. No, I'll give him a D.
See you later.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him a D. I think that
I'm giving him a D for don't want him back next season.
He's not a first or second liner. We got a solid fourth line. If anything, he would be a third liner, and I don't see him taking that spot from Cooley, Laba, Cartier, any of those guys. I'd put above him in the pecking order for that third line spot. So I'll give him a D. I don't think he had a great season. He did have a hat trick, but then he went 40-something games before he scored again.
Dude, he was brutal.
He was brutal.
There
was nothing really great to watch from him. I'm giving him a D. Get out of New York. I don't want to see. I don't want to see.
And we got to watch his brother. Darren Radish absolutely teared up, and
Tampa.
I'm like, what is this shit we get? I feel like Joe Pesci. What is this shit?
Yep. So
yeah,
D.
Brutal.
All right, Matt Rempe.
Matt Rempe's a tough one, man.
He didn't play enough. He was injured.
He didn't play. He broke his thumb. He
got scared of fighting. He couldn't fight. He couldn't do his job. I'm just gonna give him. He was out of the lineup so much. I'm gonna give him a D. I think. I'll be generous. I'll give him a C just because of the lore. But yeah, we didn't get to see him enough. He was playing injured. He wasn't able to take on his role. And you could see it in his game that after he hurt his thumb in that Revo fight, he just wasn't himself. So
Yeah.
I do have hope for him. You know, you've seen some postseason interviews. He was talking about how he was playing injured. He couldn't get it right. Coming up next season, come up training camp, he should be 100% again. We'll see if he cracks the roster. He's always a hype man. So if anything else, heart and soul gives him a bump from a D to a C. I don't know. I wasn't very, very pleased with him. But then again, he wasn't out there at 100%. So
yeah, I think it's really hard to grade. Because everything was negative, but he was hurt. He didn't play. He tried to play hurt. I don't know. I'm gonna withhold actually giving him a grade. I think he was not absent enough.
All right. How about this?
Or he was too absent. Sorry.
Yeah, I agree. So how about Connor Gretzky Sheary?
Connor Shitty.
Connor Shitty.
Not a fan. I think he was okay. Another guy that kind of turned it on late in the season, but doesn't really deserve a spot over any of these kids.
No, not at all.
Don't care if he's back next year, and yeah,
F.
His grade is a D or an F. Get the
D or
fuck
an
out
F.
of here.
Get out of here. Yeah, not much to say. He didn't do much. He was puppet boy for Sullivan. He was a Sullivan guy.
Yeah, total plug.
Like I said, you can't wait until you're already eliminated from the playoff contention to start playing well, and that's pretty much what he did. So you can see yourself out.
And just for the nepotism, like every year it seems like there's one guy on this team that takes a spot from kids and doesn't deserve it, and that was him this year, him and Ratty.
And this next player would be a perfect example of who should take Connor Sheary's spot.
Another kid.
And that's Adam Sikora.
Came up with a pop, has a smile that lights up the room and is an energy guy.
Yeah. There's some chemistry with Shemalash.
I'll give him a C+. I want to see more from this kid. I think he was okay. I think he's a good locker room presence.
Yeah.
Want to see more.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him a B because I think the energy is kind of contagious. You could see that when he was out there with Shemalash and they were making plays.
Yeah, him and
fuck the plays. But when they were making plays and when they had that chemistry going on, it rubbed off on some of the older veteran guys, and really just gave us something to have hope with.
Yeah,
so
him and Shemalash.
I'll give him a B. We didn't expect him to come in and be a top guy, so. Knowing his role, I think he performed well in that role. So next we got Vinny Trocheck.
I think people were hard on him. I think he had an okay season. I'm gonna give him a C+.
I'm just gonna give him a flat C.
He was not great.
Yeah,
he was not terrible. Another guy who battled injuries, so it's hard to be too critical. But I thought he did what he needed to. C+.
Yeah, I mean he won USA gold. He helped win USA gold medal by being a penalty kill guy. So, but as far as the Rangers go, C. He didn't do anything crazy. He didn't suck, but he wasn't great. Would you like to see more? Of course. Would you like to see 2024, where he was with Panarin and Lafreniere and they were all three lighting it up? You'd love to see it, but it wasn't that. So
slight detour from grades. What do you talking about Trocheck? He's probably the biggest name on the trade block as far as Rangers go. What do you think happens, and what do you want to happen?
I see him gone. I mean, he showed up on Spit and Chitless podcast.
Are you talking about gone by?
I think he's going to be traded.
The season start?
Yeah, I think he'll be gone by the time next year starts. By training camp, he will be dealt. He showed up on Spit and Chitless podcast, and when does a Rangers player ever show up on any kind of exterior media?
That would definitely make you think he's out the door.
They don't do it. It's pretty much like they're not allowed to go on exterior stuff. They're a very sneaky organization. They don't want players talking, spilling the beans. I don't think he would just defy a rule like that and go out on a podcast, probably the biggest hockey podcast in the world. I don't think he would just say, screw you, Drury, I'm going on it anyway, and risking it all. I think he knows he's going somewhere. I'd be very, very surprised to see him there at training camp.
I think that's fair, yeah. I would say the same. I could also see us being stupid and holding on for a little while, maybe wait until the trade deadline. Personally, I could see a world where he stays. I'd also be interested in the return. I think at this point, same could be said for Mika if he wanted to go. I think he's got to blow it up. I think he is gone. And I'm not personally kicking him out the door, but depending on the package, I'm okay with, pretty
Honestly,
much made peace with him going.
I'd be okay with a 1-for-1, just him for a first-round pick. You don't got to add any other players. Just give us a first-round pick. We're rebuilding.
I want a pick and a player.
I know you'd want to pick in a player, but realistically, like, we're rebuilding, so we're gonna want either a prospect or somebody young that we know we can develop. Yeah, I don't know. I'd be cool with a first round, but anything less than at least a first round pick, I'd be a little bit upset with and real disappointed. What about Mika?
Mika is a guy that took a lot of criticism from me, from you, from everyone really, heading into the season, and he consistently was our best forward, especially once Panarin left. He had a really good season by what we expect. It's funny because like everyone was talking about his reclamation season. He was pretty good. He scored 33 goals. When you look around the league, that's really not that great. But for this team, for what he did, I mean, he came, bounced back. I have to give him a B, maybe even a B plus.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him a B plus as well.
There's not an A on this team. I'm just gonna say, other than Gabe. He's
PRR,
probably your only A that you're gonna hear from me. I might as well give that away now.
Yeah.
But I thought he was good, man. I'll give him a solid B. Another guy I'd like to see followed up next year.
Yeah, he's like Palmer said, he was the best, most consistent player on a nightly basis. When the team was not producing, he somehow was still producing. 33 goals, not his best year, but a lot better than the previous 2 seasons.
Yeah.
I was very happy to see him kind of have a bounce back year. Something we've all been just dying for. So, all right, so you want to do the defense?
Yeah, let's give him the D.
Yeah, all right, so Will Borgen, what do you got?
More like Will Boring. Oh, man, I'm pretty torn on this player. I think he's pretty good, but goddamn does he bore me.
Yeah.
I'll give him a C+. I thought he was serviceable, reliable, no greater, no worse. I thought he was a C+.
Yeah, I'm just going to not even give him the plus. I'm just going to give him a C. When he's out there, he gives a lot of effort. He tries hard. He's not a star. He's a stay-at-home type guy, and you don't expect much from him, but he gives it all and he does okay. So I'm just going to give him a C. Drew Fortescue, the rookie prospect.
He looked good. He didn't play a lot. I don't know how I can grade him based off of that because he didn't do much in the games he was in.
Yeah. And
he didn't play a lot. So I don't know.
I'm going to give him a B. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. It's so stupid. Benefit of the doubt. I'll give him a B. I think
he looked
promising as like a good puck mover. I mean, he's not like a big, strong type guy, but almost like another like Zach Jones type player. He was all right. I enjoyed him.
Yeah, another kid that gives you some hope.
Yeah, we'll see how. Yeah. We just got to see how he develops. Adam Fox.
Adam Fox, outside of the injury, had a pretty good season. His numbers for the games he played, and you see the impact as soon as him and Shesterkin went out. Yeah, this team went completely
freaking bender,
belly up. So I give he was injured. I don't know I don't know if he played enough and did enough to get an A. I'll give him a solid B. I think he had a good season. Let's see him stay healthy and play with Gavrikov a full season.
I'm also going to give him a B. I think he was a little bit underwhelming considering, oftentimes he's in the talks with the McCarrs and the Hughes. Like, he's in that conversation. Werenski's, this year he just wasn't in the conversation with those other guys. So he takes a step back and he doesn't get an A, but his numbers were solid, so I'll give him a B. Gavrikov,
I'm going to give him a B+. I think he had a solid first season with the Rangers. He lost his partner for a lot of the season, and that kind of tanked things. He completely blew out of the water his previous goal total. No one expected that. I think before he had scored like 5 or 6 goals in the
six,
season.
and what was this, like 13?
He ended up with like 14 or something.
14,
so, I mean,
something
he
like
blew
that.
that away.
Yeah.
And just really looked pretty solid. We laughed earlier in the season. How many times did you hear, good stick Gavrikov? Good stick Gavrikov.
Yeah, he's all stick.
He was really good. He's not as good as Adam Fox, but as far as what we have on our team, he was, basically our most consistent, short of Foxy. Pretty good defenseman, so I give him a B.
I'm debating whether I'm right between an A and a B because, like, when it comes to like offensive upside, which we weren't expecting, he gets an A for sure. But when it comes to like being that defensive defenseman, I got to give him a B because there was certain times when he had lapses. It was almost like his head wasn't in the game. So I guess I'll just give him a B plus. There was things I liked. There was a couple things I didn't like that I'd like to see him kind of tighten up. Other than that, he was pretty good for us. Vincent Iorio.
F, get out of my face.
Yeah, Vincent Iorio. I don't even. Who? Who? Vincent who? Nah, he didn't do much. He didn't do much on the few little sample size games we got of him. I'm good without him. So F. Matthew Robertson. He was.
Matthew Robertson gets a B plus. Not to say he's a B plus level player like per the league, but per expectation, this is a guy that has been buried in the AHL. For about 4 or 5 seasons. No one really thought much of him, and he made the lineup and never looked back.
Yeah,
and had a nice season for himself. He scored a big overtime goal at one point. Had a nice season, so I give him a B plus. Another guy that you're really excited about moving towards next season, and compared to some of these scrubs that we tried on defense this year, he looked really good.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give him a B plus as well. He came in looking hungry. He produced. He was pretty decent for us. As a third pair and defenseman, I think he's a solid guy to have on that third pair. I really think he could fill that role good, and I think he did fill that role pretty well.
Yeah.
If you want to put him in the top 4 D, I don't know. Maybe a second pair D, maybe. But yeah, in that third pair D, and he's solid. So Braden Schneider.
Braden Schneider is a guy that I picked not this year but last year as my crush, and I feel like ever since I did that, he's gone downhill.
You got to know him.
Yeah, the cupcake stage is over. He's all right, man. This is another guy that's on the trade block. I would say if a deal comes around, get rid of him.
Would you take a second for him?
I think I would.
Like a second round pick?
Second round pick, yeah.
Yeah, I think so,
This
too.
is another first round pick that's just not working out for the Rangers. He's okay. I really like him early on, but I've kind of gone cold on him. This is a guy we were calling Baby True, but early on, that seems to have left his game. And he's just very, like, vanilla, very unnoticeable. And that's in spite of what I want. I want this guy to be better, but he had a very, very vanilla, mediocre season.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just going to give him a C. I think he was all right. A lot of times where he wasn't all right, but a lot of times where he was all right. I don't think there was any times when you were like, "Oh my God, he was great." So you can't give him a high grade.
I can't
He's a C,
a bunch of big hits.
an average player. You want more from him than you're gonna get. It is what it is. And let's see, Euro Vakanainen. What do you think about him?
I don't think about him. F.
Get
him out of here. He doesn't do anything. I think it was telling that his country went to the Olympics, and of the 6 starting defensemen, 5 were NHLers and 1 was a non-NHLer, and Uro still did not make that lineup. So I think that says a lot. I'm not a fan. I don't. This is another one of Drury's blunders where he brought a guy in, fell in love with him, and locked him down for 2 years, and he's just okay. I guess he's our 7th D. That's fine.
Yeah, he pisses me off every time he's out there. Every time he's out there, he pisses me off.
He
tries to be cute.
He's useless.
He's not skilled enough to be cute, first of all. And that cuteness that he's attempting to do burns him. Every time he's on the ice, I expect us to get pinned in our zone for a long shift of defense.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give him an F. Get him out of here.
Brutal. Get him out
I
of
don't
here.
want you. Have fun wherever you go. And that's going to be it for our players. We got goalies. Dylan Garand had a little showcase this year. Did you like what you saw from him?
I did. You know, he almost got that win in his first game. The boys let him down.
Yeah.
You know, he did eventually get that win in his second game. He looked really good. Look, that's who I want as my backup. I don't want to bring in some journeyman, old man. I think you get Igor and Garand next season.
Yeah.
As far as a grade, he didn't play a lot, but the games he did, I give him a B+. I thought he looked really good.
I agree. Let's get on to Jonathan Quick, his final season.
Jonathan Quick, his final season was a little up and down, but this guy's a legend. This guy was a beauty. Everyone respects him. Great in the locker room. You know what? I don't give a fuck about the record and the goals against. I'm giving him an A. Right off into the sunset.
Yes.
You sweet bastard.
Yes, the team did not do him justice.
No, they played like
Had
shit
the
in front of
team
him.
been decent, he would have been decent. But the team did nothing in front of him.
Our goalies.
He gave it his all at his old bitter age of 40?
Yeah.
39, 40, something like that. He's a mentor to the kids. He's a heart and soul guy. He brings more to the table than just his goaltending. I'm giving him an A as well. He was everything we could have asked for and more. So.
I mean, he illustrated probably the most beautiful aesthetically moment of the season, which was the color rush game against Detroit. The boys let him down. We lost a tight one, and he took his frustrations out at the end and started a big old fight. And you love Jonathan Quick for that. You know, look, I remember Jonathan Quick when he was with the Kings, and I didn't know much about him, but what I did know is he was young and fiery. He was fiery then, he's fiery now. He gets an A in my book, man, right off into the sunset. Thank you for what you did for hockey.
All right, Mr. $11.5 million man.
Igor,
or is he making $12 million? What is it?
I think it's 11.5 or more than a half. Igor looked pretty good. Similar to Fox is how I feel about Igor's season. He was good when he was in. He missed a lot of time.
Yeah. Well, so what grade would you give him?
I give him a B+.
I'll
give him
a B+ just because he beat Markstrom's ass.
Yes.
He got into a goalie fight, took his time, beat Markey up, and that was the highlight of the season.
Yes.
A win, a goal, a big moment. None of those were highlights of the season.
Yeah.
But Igor Shesterkin proving that he was a certified thug out there.
No,
earned a lot in my book.
He fed Markstrom.
Yeah, he fed him. He took his lunch. So yeah, B+ for Igor.
All right. So before we wrap it up, we're not going to spend a lot of time on this. What's up?
We got Sullivan and Drury, and then we'll be done with the grades. What do you think about Sully first? We'll save the best for last and do Drury.
Sullivan. I will give Sullivan a C. And the reason I'm doing that is I need to see more. I need to see him with a better roster. We'll get to that in a second with Droopy. I thought he was okay. I thought early in the season the defense looked really good. My problem was I felt like all season I was like, where the fuck is our new coach bump? You see teams, whether it's mid-season or at the beginning of the year, new coach bump. I just thought we never got a new coach bump. Or it was a very subdued version. Like watching our defense look okay at the beginning of the year was our new coach bump. And I don't know. I wanted more. I kind of thought he would turn things around a little more. But then again, you give the guy shit, he's going to make shit. So I give him a C.
I'm going to give him an F, straight up F. I think that there was too many times that he was playing Sheary and old guys who weren't, when things are broken, you got to make changes. You can't just be like, oh, we suck, so I'm going to keep playing Sheary and slot him up in the first line and the second line. Like, what the hell are you doing, man? You got a bunch of hungry kids down in the A, like Shemalash and what's his name? I just was talking about him with Shemalash. Yeah, well, golly. Yeah, just scroll up a little and I'll tell you exactly who.
Sakura.
Sakura, you got players like that who are hungry and they came in and instantly made an impact, and you're still playing Shiri who goes 45 games without a point recorded. Like, what the hell are you doing, man? Like, he didn't make adjustments. He didn't do anything to bring energy. Like, the team was getting their lunch taken every single day, and he was just sitting there being like, oh, well, I think we played good for the first period, but then it got away from us. Or I think we did. I think I think we did a lot of good things, but we could have done a lot of things better. When you just got pumped bad, like there was nothing I liked about the way he was relying on the veterans when the veterans had no interest in doing anything for the team.
No, I'll agree with that. He is, and I've said this, and I'll say this again. He is absolutely a stubborn ass.
Yes.
But I don't know. You're making me think.
I would rather watch us get our ass beat, but at least with a team that seems to be giving a fuck.
Yeah.
Than watch us maybe come close to winning with a team that doesn't really give a shit, that has no energy, that's just their heart's just not in it.
That's fair.
And he didn't pick the players that had their heart in it for most of the season. Towards the end of the season, once we were eliminated from playoff contention, let the kids play. And look how it went. We got to watch a little bit of fun hockey after it was too late. But why did we have to wait until it was too late to watch any fun hockey? Any young kids with speed and chemistry? He completely failed this team this season.
He waited
so
too long.
I can't give him a D. I can't give him a B or a C. I got to give him an F. He needed to do better. He needed to do more, and he didn't until it was too late.
I think that's a fair criticism. And that brings us to the man in charge. I've said enough about him. My knee hurts. All I'm going to say about Chris Drury is he gets an absolute F. He gets an F plus, and that's actually worse than an F in my book.
I'll give him a D minus.
I'm giving him an F plus. He has blown up this team. He has not brought enough back. We'll see what he does in this draft, but his draft record sucks. His free agency record is bad. He's come in. John Chicks hit it right on the head. Early on he came in and made some decent moves. The more and more he's put his DNA on this team, the worse they've gotten. On a personnel level, on a talking to the media, on a just acting like a fucking asshole, being so secretive. The Giants recently did like a town hall, and they hyped it up, and they had all the players there. We get nothing as Ranger fans. Yeah. We get this smug little fucking twerp, Drury, who thinks he's running government secrets. We get nothing from him. I'm totally out on Drury. I can't stand him. F.
I'm gonna give him a D minus instead of an F. But the only reason I'm not giving him an F is because he picked up Cartier off waivers, and that seemed to be a decent fit, and he accumulated a lot of cap space and draft capital. Like, the team sucks ass, but there's a lot of draft capital and there's a lot of cap space. And if he was to get fired today and they were to bring in a new GM, that new GM would have lots of cap space and lots of draft capital to change the culture and change everything to go with the team. So for that, I'm going to give him a D minus instead of an F. Other than those two things, he sucks. Get him out of here.
I hold it against him what he's done to this team in short order, making it a boring, completely unfun experience, and that's on him.
Yeah.
The team has no social media presence. They're awful. We got to watch.
What happens when Trocheck's gone and they can't do? And they can't have his son doing the only media.
Junior baby reporter. It is awful.
Once they don't have junior reporter, what are they going to do?
We've gone from watching Henrik Lundqvist, on commercials, and this team is unrecognizable,
lifeless,
and I can't stand what Chris Drury's done to it.
That's fair. That's all I got for the grades. What do you got? Anything else with the grades?
No.
We could go on forever about Chris Drury. We know he sucks. We know he's some dog shit.
He's a dirtbag.
Yeah, he's a dirtbag.
I think we should get together either as the playoffs wrap or right before the draft, or right around the draft. So Steph and I will figure that out. We'll try to get back together with you guys in another couple weeks. Keep enjoying the playoffs. It's looking like a hell of a series with the Canadians and the Canes. Not such a great series with the Vegas Golden Knights and the Avalanche, unless you're a Golden Knights fan.
Nobody in the world saw this coming.
Yeah, no, definitely didn't. But yeah, I think that's all I got, man.
Cool, yeah. So like, follow, subscribe.
Please.
Thanks for watching if you're still here. Yeah, that's all I got too. So forever hold your peace.
Yep, till next time.
All right, take care, guys.